If you are brown-skinned and thinking of flying, you may want to ask the gate agent to be sure not to seat you near other people of similar colored skin. This is a true story. Yesterday, there was or maybe it was the day before yesterday, I remember hearing this on the news, that there were that NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD had launched 2 F-16 jets to follow a Frontier Airlines flight from Denver all the way to Detroit. Why? Because 2 men of Indian ancestry were seated in a row, and a woman who was a housewife from Ohio, this is how she describes herself, a half-Jewish, half-Arab housewife. In other words, well, that's her description of herself. You look at the picture, she's got that olive kind of Mediterranean complexion, and sitting with 2 Indian guys, and somebody saw the 3 of them and thought, it must be a conspiracy. They didn't even know each other. But the gate agent seated them together. Somebody on the airplane freaked out. The pilot said he didn't care. The suspicious activity was that the 2 Indian guys, one went to the bathroom, and when he came back, the next one went to the bathroom. I mean, this is how paranoid we've become. And so, somebody and the pilot claims he didn't call for NORAD. And then, not only that, when they arrived, here, this is where it gets, the Tanya Samander reporting this story. She says, after the crew reported the 2 people had spent an extraordinarily long time in the bathroom, the jets escorted the plane to its destination in Detroit. Then, according to the reports, the half-Arab, half-Jewish housewife, a SWAT team, according to her, a SWAT team of about 10 police boarded the plane with machine guns and 3 dogs, and approached her and the two men in their aisle and handcuffed them and escorted them off the plane. She said, before I knew it, about 10 cops, some in what looked like military fatigues, were running toward the plane carrying the biggest machine guns I've ever seen, bigger than what the guards carry at the French train station. My last tweet, majorly armed cops coming aboard. So she's tweeting this, right? She thinks, oh, this is interesting. Look at this. They're storming the plane. She says, someone shouted for us to place our hands on the seats in front of us, heads down. The cops ran down the aisle, stopped at my row, and yelled at the 3 of us to get up. Can I bring my phone, I asked? This is the housewife, half Jewish, half Arab. She says, can I bring my phone, I asked? What a cliffhanger for my Twitter followers. No, the cop said, grabbing my arm a little harder than I would have liked. He slapped metal cuffs on my wrist and pushed me off the plane. The 3 of us, 2 Indian men living in the Detroit metro area, and me, a half-Arab, half-Jewish housewife living in suburban Ohio, were being detained. They were interrogated. They were strip searched. They were kept for hours because, quote, someone on the plane had reported that the 3 of us in row 12 were conducting suspicious activity. Have we become, I mean, we were not a fearful country before George Bush and his response to 9/11. It's not altogether true, though. Fear has always sold in the United States. That's why the Ku Klux Klan did so well in the early part of the 20th century. Fear has always sold. And George Bush he could have calmed us down and the world and said, this is a criminal act. It's a terrible, horrible thing. We're going to find the criminals and prosecute them. But instead, he created this huge national security apparatus where the Republican senator who is largely responsible for creating the TSA specifically is coming out now and saying, I've created a monster. It was supposed to be a $1 billion agency. It's now a $9 billion agency. It's over the top. And it's not, and this isn't to pick on the TSA. It's that it's the idea that we should all be afraid all the time. You want to be afraid of something? 700 people a year are hit by lightning. The average number of people in the United States killed by terrorist acts since 9/11 has been 13. So 13 people a year killed by terrorist acts. And that includes Christian terrorism, Jewish terrorism, Hispanic terrorism. Most of that is in Puerto Rico. It's the Puerto Rican independence movement. According to the FBI, that's the largest, actually, chunk of all the terrorist acts in the United States. And Muslim terrorism, which accounts for only 6%, by the way. And you can find the stats over at FBI.gov. So, you're more likely to be struck by lightning. You're more likely to die of a dog bite. 50,000 Americans die every year because of car accidents, and it used to be 50,000 a year from drunk driving. I don't know if that stat still holds. It's a few years old, but it's sure a hell of a lot higher than being afraid of terrorists. And yet there's a $42 million a year Islamophobia industry teaching us to be afraid of Muslims, that the Center for American Progress has uncovered by just going through IRS figures and figuring out, where are these people getting their money from? The David Horowitzes of the world, the Frank Gaffneys of the world, the ones who show up on Fox all the time. Fear sells. Glenn Beck has a whole legion of fearful followers who are paying him. He's got a couple million people who are paying $9 a month to watch him on the internet now. It's like fear sells. And it shouldn't in this country. We should be the land of the free and the home of the brave. What happened to that? We're the land of the fearful and the home of the trembling? The home of, hey, there's 3 people sitting together on an airplane and they all have brown skin. There must be something wrong. What?